Graham here with another post-match analysis from the Bloodborne League that I'm currently playing in. Looking back now to a game I mentioned at the end of the last video, where I can look at a game I drew with the Chaos team that you've been seeing so far. This was against an Elven Union team that finished 2-2. And these are actually going to be my first opponent in the playoffs, which we're starting next week. So I thought it'd be a good time to look back and see what happened. So skip some cutscenes. So switch to the Chaos perspective here. So I think the Elven coach won the toss and chose to receive. I probably would have chosen to kick anyway. So details like, so the Elven Union team had +2 fame. It's good stuff for them. Don't think it was especially significant, the result, just it's always worth checking at the beginning of the game how it's looking. So I've set up quite spread across the pitch, look out for those fast catches dodging through. Good deep kick as well, right to the back. I always aim my kicks at the middle, just worth pointing out. But yeah, if it scatters down there, that's nice. But yeah, this was I think in the last game, the Lizardmen one, I was talking about how it would have been better to set up more like this, right across the pitch to make it harder to dodge through. And that's what I went for with this one. I think basically this game shook out as everyone just scored when they were receiving the ball. So it was sort of kind of as expected, but it's just good to. Well, I know there were mistakes right at the end from both teams, but if neither of those had happened, it would still ended the same score. So I sort of let my opponent get away with a mistake that I shouldn't have. Here I'm just marking everybody up. Trying to just hold that line right across the pitch. I think my weak point at the moment is probably down here. I've got that one beastman without block holding the wing on his own. I've started since switching round by putting the beastman with block right on the side for a bit more protection. But yeah, being able to quite safely push back has made a space for that catcher to get through. I've done my usual beastman back here to watch for people breaking through, but I think ultimately that wasn't enough, and they score quite quickly. This game is good, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago now. It's hard to remember some of the details. Yeah, that was the... you needed to go for it once there. I think I was skipping the diagonal. I think in real time they may have used almost all of their 3 minutes and had a bit of a panic at the end. I don't know if I'm looking at... I'm not sure I can get the blitz in with this beastman. I don't think he can quite reach the ball carrier. I'm doing a lot of quite risky actions before I've done anything about this ball carrier. I think was I perhaps trying to make some more space to get through, but in the end I just need to drop that beastman in there to be a blocker. did find the sidestepping blitzers pretty annoying in this match, especially this one with dodge as well. Okay, so got some pressure on the ball. I think maybe blitzing here would have been a better move last turn. Just yeah, for fewer options really, because now they have got a pretty easy 2+ handoff onto this catcher and a 2+ dodge to score. With Nurse of Steel on the Elven Union catchers, that's I think that may actually be what happened in the end. But yeah, I haven't really effectively shut it down. I think putting this catcher on the floor would have limited that option. Yeah, so that was it. I think that's the yeah, that's the touchdown. So a turn 3 touchdown, the Elven Union team. Which normally, for a Battery team at this point, you'd be thinking, yeah, 2-1 grind. I'll score back before half time and spend 8 turns trying to score in the second half. That's not bad from this position. I don't like, and actually for the new 2020 edition, the rules that we've seen leaked so far, stalling is going to be punishable in some way. I don't actually like doing it anyway, because I sort of feel like, you know, just score and then put up a defence rather than try and sort of run the clock down. I think if you're if you're can only win games by making sure opponents only have 1 turn to score, you're probably not as good a coach as you think you are. So I sort of like to just score touchdowns when I can, and I think I think a lot of people would point at my analysis of this game and say, well, you should have been taking your time over scoring your second touchdown, and the Elven Union would have equalised, which is fair enough, but I just don't really like playing the game in that spirit. And also, when we get to it, I think we'll see that I was under quite a bit of pressure to score. And a way of combating stalling is to pressure the other team to score, which is what happened. So we'll see that when we get into the second half day. So here I just want to make sure the ball is safe, although, so I've got 6 turns to equalise, which is a good healthy number of turns to have when you're a Chaos team. So priority is really, make sure the ball's safe. I want to have a reroll available still when I come to pick up the ball, because it's landed quite near my 2 deeper beastmen down here. So I don't really want to be taking too many risky actions first, but wanting to protect the ball in case I do mess up picking it up, but get it first time. And attacking this sort of weaker flank of the elves. My opponent kind of showed me to his right, which I've taken. They've obviously got the mobility to come across and still shut that down. But there'd be little sense in me taking it to my right with all of these players here. And that's where I've got some players forward as well. Still at this point playing with a journeyman in my team, because I was with injuries struggling to get to get a full complement of players now. I think this is the first game after the Lizardmen game that was in the last video. So it was the Beastman on 5-star play points who took the agility penalty. And this is something I didn't properly prepare against as well. Sort of Elven blitzers, so you can push you out of the way and then just quite easily skip through to get pressure on the ball. So he needs dealing with now, but with block, dodge and sidestep. That's not an easy task. Yeah, so I was looking for a Beastman with block to come and do that and get 3 dice down on it. And that was sort of overcompensation really, 3 defender downs in the end, but still I knew how troublesome that blitzer had been. I think I was considering a foul as well at some point. Didn't really have anyone I'd be happy to throw away available to do it. Perhaps next turn, if the journeyman could be freed up, it might have been worth a foul on that blitzer. Yeah, just trying to shut down, protect that ball. Sort of 4 turns to get out the pitch, which is plenty of time. Got this Chaos Warrior getting heavily outnumbered in the middle here, and yeah, brought down by a lineman. And that's the initial one who went forward to blitz in the first turn of this drive. Yeah, so that's that route through quite significantly shut off. Even with perhaps this Beastman being the one to blitz here. That's probably what I'm looking at. I've gone there instead for the blitz. Okay, yeah, I think I actually, drive for the right instead. So just marked up these players. Saw the gap there, and I think that's where I go cage up now, yeah. Did forget about that detail. And yeah, just form a tight cage in there. Okay, so have to use a reroll there to make sure that lineman's down. Yeah, just putting some 1 dice blocks in. Yeah, it's just looking pretty healthy. I think yeah, I mean I do score in this drive, but at this point it doesn't really look much good for the Elven Union team. I think pushing through down this way would have just seen me squeezed against the touchline, so pleased with the decision to go right, and especially getting the stun there, that really helped out. Obviously still got the mobility and the agility to get over there. Yeah, so that frees up a player here. Yeah, still plenty of players, but I'd be pretty happy about scoring probably in turn 7 on this drive from my position at the moment. Maybe 8 if I need to. mirroring players away from here, sending a block beast man forward to blitz just to push back, but probably have sent him there and maybe followed so that this beast man was free to move. Yeah, some here. Yeah, here now I'm just trying to screen the ball carrier. He's going to score a few levels, which is why I put him back near my end zone, ready to pick the ball up. Decided not to take that one dice block there because he's essential for shielding that ball carrier. Could have marked up some players and got a blitz in. Just knocking him down, they still can, of course. I think following up there makes that harder. Double one for the dodge there. Okay, so just trying to move this catcher out of the way, which a push will do. I'm wondering actually if this is perhaps the touchdown where I felt that I really just had to get on the score because there's not a lot of protecting the ball carrier at this point. But this player, who's over here, only a thrower with no blocking skills, but still a 1 in 2 chance of putting my ball carrier down on a blitz, one dice blitz. Because I've still got that other turn left, I'm putting some other blocks in first, see if I can get some players off the pitch. And yeah, now I think it takes a go for it roll. Didn't have a re-roll available, but it came off okay. From there, nothing else really happens for the half, so I'll skip through these. But yeah, it's 1-1 at half time, which is sort of what I said I would have wanted. And yeah, now only at the second half set up. So receiving the ball this half at 1-1 looks a pretty pretty solid sort of position to be in. You were thinking good for a 2-1 win. I think probably more patience might have been. Maybe tried to rush the ball up the pitch too much, and obviously could have tried stalling as well. But I did. We'll see when we get there, but I think I did only actually leave 2 turns to score and really make my opponent have to right at the end, but we'll see. So a wasted reroll there just to get a pushback. Sort of a vanity reroll. Which I really shouldn't have done when I want to pick the ball up either. That should be... forgetting my own rules, really. Perhaps just growing frustrated about not putting any players down, but get one finally. Oh, there was the... Yeah. So that's the second one down. I did miss that first one. And then, the re-roll there meant I had to take a place down there. The last action anyway, so I may have not even used that re-roll, but... Still worth bearing in mind that I used one to not avoid a touchdown turnover and then took one. So again, I've got this elf blitzer who can just break through my lines fairly easily. No, yeah, players right in my face from the start. And at the moment, I'll perhaps be looking up the left at this point. So if I was in this position again, just because that's where I've got Beastman furthest forward, it's easier to try and protect the ball over that side. Whereas here I've got a stunned player and one sort of stranded, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see the ball go left here. Yeah, I mean that's the sort of obvious choice. I didn't really have a lot of option there. Don't have a lot of blocks on, so I'm just going to see probably this one and a blitz. And yeah, here I can get in with a sort of tight cage. 2 Chaos Warriors, 2 Beastmen. Unfortunately, the Chaos Warriors are the ones more isolated. Someone down there, so I do have the throw on. Make them think about that. So I have left these 2 players sort of uncontested in my half. And get at the back of my cage and at least mark it up. Probably going to see this Beastman get blitzed. That's one cage caller down. And this is a problem that I'd highlighted with tight cages in a couple of videos ago, where you can just get easy follow-ups to mark the ball carrier. I think it looks like we're going to get 2 of those this half, although skull, yeah, so just a push. So this lineman really needed to be elsewhere to get that assist in. Still, 2 players marking my ball carriers, not great. I don't really have, because there are so many elves here stopping assists happening, that it's I'm just moving players away. I'm probably looking at just dodging at some point. But with a reroll, I'll probably feel fairly safe about that. And yeah, the dodge comes off. Okay, so do get that through. Now struggling to remember what happened, because I really thought it was much later in the half I was scoring. But it could be this still goes wrong. As Elven players, you can never really, or a lot of Agility 4 players anyway, you can never really be sure that you've blocked everyone off as much. That's why I usually prefer sort of tighter cages against more agile teams, because it's just a 3+ dodge to get in at there, which is probably where things go wrong, but maybe I'm remembering completely wrong. Tough to remember this far back. I've played a lot of games since as well. Yeah, I'm increasingly thinking that is what happened here, that we get a blitzer come through. Just one dice that Beastman down. And yeah, so I should be looking at, I'm really not in a rush. I don't need to be this far forward. I could have been back here with a much tighter cage. Even just slightly tighter, getting, if that's a dodge into 3 tackle zones, that's a very different situation than the dodge into 1 tackle zone that I'm giving them. And we've got that, the block and dodge blitzer somewhere. Are those down there? So. We've got a catcher with dodge here, so it's 3+ with a reroll. And, but no, it just goes into markup. Yeah, we've got some people coming in, so you could maybe have marked up this Chaos Warrior too. It's, I'm remembering this completely wrong, because I really thought that was how the drive went wrong. But there we go, so straight onto the ball carrier. So perhaps this is where I was just feeling under pressure to score. I'm remembering this all wrong. Okay, so put that blitzer down. Yeah, but I think with the sort of 3 elves I've got around here, there's not a lot I can do about them. I think I'd probably just score this turn. Yeah, so just went for the quick touchdown instead. Really thought it was much later in the half that I'd scored. But yeah, like I said, I've probably played maybe 7 or 8 games since this one. It's tough to remember all the details. So yeah, 2-1 up. Know a lot of coaches who are into a more time management approach will be probably face palming and stuff. But I actually quite enjoy defending in Blood Bowl as well, probably more than attacking. Is another factor. And another reason I prefer to kick first a lot of the time. Yeah, so looking at this, so elves can obviously score in 2 turns pretty effectively, but I know the touchdown does come in turn 16 here, so the defence perhaps wasn't as bad as I remember. Zooming the wrong way. There we go. So immediately my left is looking vulnerable. Casually throwing the ball around at the back to pick up some star player points. The thrower just one off in advance now. So yeah, just getting that Chaos Warrior in to mark as many players as possible. Pretty solid wall, getting one back to act as a sweeper. I think there I was just looking at having the block Beastman on the end. Shove back, not following to keep the assist in, and pull that lineman down. Okay, so that makes a gap to get a player through, which gives me a problem to deal with. Yeah, 2 players in there, so that gives me, ball's pretty well protected, so I'm not going for that next turn. That means I need to deal with these players as a priority in my next turn. What I would have been thinking here, and I've got some free players available to go mark them up. I do still need to watch for the attack coming this way, although if these players can be dealt with in the next turn, I do have time to react to that still. If they're going to run down in a cage. Not following up because I want to keep this line a bit. I've gone to mark up there, which is not necessarily a bad thing from my point of view. Injury there. Yeah, so it sort of balances my team a bit better. Just dropping a different player back to sweep and one more on my right. But here, yeah, I left my left a bit too exposed there. So being concerned with where the ball is and all these players, I was a bit concerned about my right. But yeah, moving this guy over did leave me, yeah, exposed down there. I'm pretty sure that's where the touchdown comes in as well. So moving the ball again. That's a bit risky, but that's a good space for them to be aiming for. I only got to stand these players up, or this player up, and that's okay. To go to protect the ball instead. But it's with sidestep on the touchline, so not so dangerous. So 2 players marked, yeah. So that sort of shift across that I did there. What I was saying before, that I still had time to react to some movement from here if I decide to run that way. I was a bit over-eager to get over there. I think that's where defending this drive went wrong. If I'd still had the 2 beastmen here, getting through down there would have been much tougher. And because I just don't have the same sort of mobility and the amount of players that could get over here as well. Yeah, it makes it really tricky. I'm pretty sure I do break down this attack because I remember how the last 2 turns went. Possibly the biggest mistake I've ever made playing Blood Bowl in over 20 years. But I kind of, in a way it was letting my opponent get away with a mistake that he made a turn earlier, so I sort of didn't feel so bad about it. I think at this point I eventually blitzed this player and put them in the way of this blitzer. I'm sure that's what happened here. I think that was all I really had on. Yeah, that was, I think, all I had really. Let's try and do that. So, yeah, what I'd done is made sure I had someone in scoring position, and then this was the error. As soon as this block dice rolled, I was like, that should be a blitz, shouldn't it? I think that should be a blitz. And I think on tabletop, where you declared a blitz at the start of the action, it would have been obvious. I think even if it wasn't, I'd have let my opponent have it. But where the video game version strictly keeps you to the rules, that was a 2+ dodge to score there. If that had been the thing where you got to click on the player, choose a blitz, and that's just unfamiliarity with the game that meant that. And remember my opponent thinking that was it, but my mistake was thinking that had happened in the elf turn 16, and somehow not noticing that I still had a turn left. So I got really stupid, and instead of just I put this player down quite quickly, I think. or off the pitch, I think, from here. But yeah, so I then, okay, so he goes down there, ball off the pitch, and the crowd start chucking it about and send it way over here. Casper doesn't catch it, never mind. So at this point, if I'm aware my opponent still has a turn, I should be this beast man over here, this one in here, this one in here, and just surround the ball, make it really hard to pick up. But instead, I thought my opponent didn't have a turn left. So I think, well, I can get another touchdown here if I can chuck him the ball. It's a long shot. I'll do it. I'll do it at the end when I've got nothing else I want to do. But yeah, so what really happened there is chose this Chaos Warrior. Mess up the pass, but I re-roll it, get it on target, and then I think it's the tackle zone that makes this Beastman drop it. Yeah, because it was only on a 3. So that's a turnover. But at this point, I realise the Elves still have a turn left, and I have players who can score, and I've messed up. And that was really stupid. So we both made sort of quite simple errors in our late on, and really they cancelled each other out, and 2 was definitely a fair result. But yeah, I could have stopped that attack earlier by keeping my line more solid. On my left flank is where it broke down, really. So it was good to go back and see that, because I've got this opponent again next week. Both of our teams are better now. I think he's got 4 catchers now in the team as well. One of them's strength 4, which is insane. It will be a lot to look out for, and probably be a target as well, to be honest, an armor 7 target that I can take down. But yeah, really even game. Until definitely a fair result, but yeah, it's just my positioning. I need to work on concentrating and on my positioning there. Yeah, so that's another one of these. We've got our. Let me show you the playoffs that we've got. So that the top 4 kind of paired off like this. We did first playing 4th and second playing 3rd. In our knockout. So these 3 teams are. Well, I drew the Rivendell All-Stars, which you see. I lost to both of these teams, so I'm going to look at the Lamian Pallbearers game at some point, hopefully later this week, and see what we can learn from that one as well. That was a 1-0 defeat. That'd be good to see. Anyway, that's another one. I hope that was useful to somebody or enjoyable. I'm going to get off and see about some others. Thanks very much.